Send it back, man.
Ready? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the On Second Thought Sports Show on the Mental Conditioning Podcast. As you can see, we're in a different location. We're on location today because we've been here. We're trying to watch some of the playoff games while actually doing the show today. So if you see us kind of glancing over, Celtics game is on, so we're just kind of watching that a little bit. Which that series is the game is close today actually, and I thought it was the Celtics was up 3-0, but apparently Orlando actually won a game, so that series turned out to be a little bit competitive. I know they had some injuries there, but we'll get into that in a little while. But I'm excited again. Just a very, 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 very busy sports week. We did an extra little clip talking about the whole Deion Sanders and his son's situation. I kind of wanted to join in, I guess, and put our word in on it. As I said, it's not really a sports issue to me necessarily. It's more of a mindset issue, which is what we deal with here, on Second Thought Sports Show on the Mental Conditioning Podcast. So it's just more, mindset thing than any X's and O's, but the X's and O's is always tied into it. So go and check that out and to get our views on that. So we'll start off a little bit like we did last week, because this is the week, this is fight week. We'll start off on boxing, run through that real quick. We did have a fight that just happened. But let's get into it. This week is the big week. We got those fights that we talked about last week. We got fights Friday night, we got fights Saturday night, and Sunday night.
That's this week?
That's this week coming up. So this is it.
You going to Vegas?
I'm going to Vegas next Saturday. So I'll be here Friday, here in New York. The fights Friday night, it will be here in Times Square. I will not be there. I turned that one down. I was given an offer actually to go, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going.
What? Which one were you offered to go to?
The Friday night fights in Times Square.
What?
I'm not going. I just don't want to be a part of it. I just think it's going to be a zoo out there, so I doubt it. Then Saturday night, obviously, I'm definitely not going to Saudi Arabia to go see Canelo Alvarez and see what happens there.
I forgot he was fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting. We said that last week. Sometimes in these type of situations, this is obviously the setup for Terrence Crawford. So I've been watching boxing a long time. Sometimes these are recipes for a disaster. A huge upset really turns everything upside down. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Canelo, he's usually a guy that's he's always a guy that's in shape and very professional. So I don't anticipate a problem for him. And then Sunday, I will be in Vegas for the NUA fight. His either first or second time fighting in the United States. He's a guy that everybody has on their pound-for-pound list. So most people have him in the top 5. Some people have him in the top 3. I've seen him fight a few times, so it was really be a treat to try to see him up close and personal live. So I try to give you guys as much footage as I can from that once I get down there. The boys are going to sit this one out, so it'll be just me and my wife, the producer, down there doing the thing. So let's get into that, like I said. And then we had Chris Eubanks Jr. versus Conor Benn this week. A big fight over in the UK. And ironically, as I told the boys just before we went on, everything going on with this father and son thing with the Sanders. And it's also kind of leaked its head into the boxing world with Chris Eubanks Sr. and Jr. I'm pretty familiar with Chris Eubanks Sr. Both these guys and Conor Benn, both their dads were both excellent fighters during the 90s. They were in the UK. At that time, they didn't really push the UK fighters like that here in the United States like they do today. But I knew about them. They were both very, very good fighters. Nigel Benn is actually part of one of the most devastating and most vicious fights I've ever seen, and disappointing fights that I've ever seen. Him fighting the great Gerald McClellan over there in the UK. And shout out to Gerald McClellan, one of my favorite fighters of all time and one of the more tragic stories of all times. Gerald McClellan, really taking a tragic turn in the ring that night and never being the same to this day. But God rest his soul. He's still with us, but he's just not the same. He lost his sight, just really in bad shape. But that was really one of the more brutal fights I've ever seen. If you could get a chance, it's tough to watch the ending of it, but check it out because that was a hell of a fight. Both guys really went at it. But it was interesting to see the battle between the two, the father and the son, Chris Eubanks Sr. got kind of pissed with his son, who, I don't know, if these antics are true or not, what goes on in the press conference. I guess in a very bizarre scene, Chris Eubanks Jr. apparently had an egg in his pocket, and he hit Connor Ben with an egg. Very strange. Strange, during the press conference, and his father was just livid. He's a very soft-spoken man with his eyes. He's a vicious man, but he's a very soft-spoken man with the British accent. He was livid. He was like, I don't want to be a part of this. Basically, as Aaron said, disowned his son for hitting the man with the egg during the press conference. So I thought that was interesting. I think Chris Eubanks Jr. did eke out the victory. I did not get a chance to see the fight. I'm going to go back and take a look at it. So we had that. Again, we got the 3 fights. Devin is fighting. Teofimo is fighting, and Ryan is fighting. Anybody again expect any upsets?
No. I think it'll be clean sweep. All guys that are supposed to win are gonna win. I think it's gonna be like that all week.
I think so too. I saw a few clips. I don't know if you guys saw it. Devin Haney, they working hard, man. They up there, down there in Denver. We'll get to Denver in a little while. They're up in Big Bear, California, which is a high altitude. So he said the first time they went up there, they brought Sugar Shane Mosley on staff to work with them. So they are working extremely hard to be in shape. He looks to be in tremendous shape. He looks to be ready to go. I'm really kind of curious to really see again Devin Haney, to see what happens after a loss. And let me just say this: I got an opportunity to actually watch that fight again. I hadn't seen it since the original, and I watched that fight again, and I must say, I'm encouraged. That I think more so than when I saw it the first night, Devin definitely can beat. Let me finish.
You think he can't beat Ryan?
I think Devin Haney can beat Ryan Garcia. Let me finish my point, and I kick it to you. From what I remembered watching it that night, it just seemed. Obviously, it was a pretty bad loss for Devin, but as I watched it, the first round Devin got hurt, clearly lost, but he really took control of the fight from 2 through about 6, and he controlled that fight. He frankly won all those rounds. Then about the 7th round, and the thing is, I don't know what the situation is with Ryan Garcia. Like, he just wasn't pouring it on, or I don't know. But when he did, he again devastatingly hurt Haney, put him down again. Haney got it under control for another round or 2, and then from there it just went downhill again. So, but again, for me, I feel as though if he can clean up those, mistakes in terms of when Ryan comes on, I think he got a really good chance to beat him. It wasn't like, he got outboxed severely. Not sure why he couldn't stop the left hook, but go ahead, Aaron.
You're going to have to pick a side. Who do you got winning the fight? Who do you got winning the rematch? Because 1 week you're talking about this guy Ryan whooped up Devin Haney.
No, I just explained to you.
And then this week Devin can actually beat Ryan. So in the rematch, who do you have?
Right here, right now. You can't change your mind.
That's not fair. I'm not gonna. I can always change my mind because I need to see how Dev's gonna look this week on Friday. And
so early predictions as of April 27th.
In a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Going off of what I saw, and rewatching that fight, I think Devin can pull it out. I have to say that. I really do. Going off of what I saw, I think Devin Haney can pull that fight out. He showed me a lot of things, and then watching it again the second time that he did do right. But I'm a little bit, I would say on the other side of it, Aaron likes for me to just, it's either one way or the other, but I can't do that. Things go back and forth. On the other hand, Ryan did some things too that I think he could get better on. There just appeared to me that he just stopped fighting at times. And if Ryan can be more like, Ryan claimed that he wasn't in shape. And that's why he's like, that's why I really wasn't fighting except in spurts. Mm-hmm. So if he's in shape and he can fight more than in spurts, then I go back now and say, yo, that's a problem for Devin Haney. So, but right now, you asked me right now, here we are, we're here today. I'm going to say Dev can eke it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you think?
If Ryan says he was out of shape, then that obviously would be a huge problem. And especially if he really wasn't on PEDs and he was out of shape doing that and that's a problem, then that just makes you think, what is he going to do when he's in shape? Which he's looked pretty good for this upcoming fight for
I think so.
for
We'll
Rolly.
see.
So
That's
he's
what I said. We want to
looking
see.
in good shape. Initial pick, I'm going to pick Haney, but don't be surprised if I change my answer.
That's why I like this fight for him fighting Raleigh. I think, Raleigh is not a complete bump. That's why I do like this fight, just to see him work. You know what I mean? Just to see it. And I know what Raleigh got. So sometimes you see guys come back and it's a fight that you don't know nothing about the other guy. It's hard to tell. But I know what Raleigh going to try to do. So that's good for me to see that. Like, okay, I will know the work that Ryan is putting in. So that's why I do like that opponent for him.
Now, if we go back to the episode where we had Matt as a special guest,
Money Matt.
pretty sure it was Ryan, and Matt Ryan.
I just told you.
No, but I'm just saying. I've been Team Devin since day one. Let's just document that. Team Devin since day one.
Just because you pick,
I'm just saying.
just because you pick a fighter to
No.
lose a fight, that means you're not that team.
Hmm?
Just because you pick a fighter to lose a fight, you're saying that means that it's not that team. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you decided Ryan, were you not?
So you're saying just because I say, okay, Ryan Garcia is going to beat Devin, you're saying that means that I'm Team Ryan? Is that what you're saying?
You're on Ryan's side, are you not?
No, that's not true.
Yes, you are. You've been on this side for the past few weeks talking about...
The Boston Celtics going to beat the New York Knicks?
Huh?
Who's going to win between the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks?
Can we finish?
No, I want to know. I want to know what you're saying. The Boston Celtics going to beat the New York Knicks?
We gotta finish this segment, man. Come on.
I'm just trying to go behind the logic of what
Alright,
you're talking about.
alright, we'll come back to that logic when we go back to the basketball segment.
Alright, so let's finish up with that. As I said, anybody think Canelo going to have any problems?
Absolutely. Who's he fighting?
I said his name last week. I don't remember.
Whoever it is has no chance against Canelo.
Alright, good. And then, like I said, Sunday will be a showcase card. I'm just looking forward to it. It should be a great week of boxing. It's nice to have that. Hopefully, we can get some good, exciting fights. And guys, what I really want to see is numerous knockouts. This is supposed to be showcase cards. Let's be honest. That Friday night card is supposed to be a showcase card. Everybody needs a knockout. Canelo needs a knockout. Anyway's coming here. I'm sure he's gonna get his knockout. So hopefully we get a lot of knockouts, and it's exciting for us. Let's shift into basketball. They got a really good game going on here, Boston and Orlando, as we keep looking over there. But exciting week of playoff basketball. Interesting week of playoff basketball.
Absolutely.
Did not go necessarily according to plan. Aaron likes to keep referring to previous shows of what was said, and we know some of the things that he said, and it didn't come to fruition. We'll get into that into a minute.
What was that one?
So, we don't want to start off with that.
We'll see.
I won't even start off with that, but I'll get to him in a minute, because he's trying to challenge me and bring up previous shows.
We'll see.
So let's start off with our favorite. As you can see, New York Knicks is in the building. New York Knicks is in the building. Listen, I think that we took finally a commanding 3-1 lead. Shout out to Mark, who was on the show for us, and he was riding the dive for the Knicks. He's been riding the dive for them. Not that we're not big Knicks fans, but he's definitely been on top of it. And I think I feel good. The Knicks established that they are a better team. I think than the Detroit Pistons. There's still more work to do. The job's not done yet. But I think that they established that, they are a better team. They were able to go down, they did drop one in Madison Square Garden. They were able to go down into Detroit and pick off two. So really, really good. I think it was a very exciting game today. You guys want to talk about the game today?
Well, first of all, I don't believe that we completely established that we are a better team than Detroit.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's just a comeback with us every game. The past 4 games has been a comeback. So it's not like we've always had the lead the whole game. I think game 1, we might not have been leading the whole 3 quarters, maybe something like that.
Yes.
I know, but I don't think we fully established that we're a better team. Hopefully we do that in game 5 though. But today's game was entertaining. We was in a barbershop watching the ending of it.
Shout out to Barry.
From what I heard, they were up. The Knicks were up, but I don't know if that's true because we turned in like 3rd quarter. But That's what I heard. But if that is true, which we'll probably figure out at some point.
We were down 14 at one point.
Oh, we were down?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's actually a good comeback. Cause, like, but then again, being down 14 doesn't, I feel like
It's not a good sign.
you as a better team.
But listen, it was a road game too, so let's keep that in mind too. It's a road game. You know what I mean? You're playing down there on the road, so to be able to come back, that's a good thing.
Yeah, either way, it was a really good game. Jalen Brunson gave all Knicks fans a huge scare in the third quarter when he went down, and it looked like he just couldn't stand up. I mean, he went down, I think they said it was an ankle injury. They tried to help him up, and he still went right back down to the floor, like he couldn't put any pressure on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think after that, then the lead started to pick back up for the Pistons. JB came back and played the fourth quarter, had 15 in the fourth quarter, and led the comeback to the win. Honestly, really amazing. And for all of you people out there, because y'all starting to get me mad on what I keep seeing on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
All you people out there that is hating on Jalen Brunson right now, saying he's a shot chucker, a foul baiter. Knicks fans, he's doing the same thing he's been doing all season long.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The only reason you guys are saying something about it now is because it's playoff times and, we lost a game to the Pistons, so we're going to blame Jalen Brunson.
Oh.
He's been doing the same thing all season.
I do agree with that.
And I want to say something. No offense, but is it JD or JB?
JB Bickerstaff? JB.
JB?
Oh my God.
JB Bickerstaff, I'm sorry, you are one of the worst coaches in the playoff right now.
Jesus.
I mean, you continue to complain about calls and you lose your team's challenges. You challenge something and you've lost it for the past 2 games.
Yeah.
And there was a couple calls in the fourth quarter where you could have challenged it and we very much could have lost. But you keep challenging these stupid calls.
He used his challenge today 5 minutes into the first quarter. And lost
you
it.
just got
I tell you what, I don't like that at all. You know, just the fact that he is just constant. Look, coach's job are to put the pressure on the referees, but I think to the point of where I feel like, you know, you're losing your team. Listen, as a coach, a lot of times you hear coaches, I think even Coach Thibodeau had to tell his team, guys like Josh Hart is another one, he likes to really go in on the referees, and even sometimes the coaches be like, guys, just play ball, you know, stop talking to the referees. And I just don't think it's a good look that every play, and I mean, he just goes completely, you know, in full conversation, completely just ballistic, you know, on the referees after every single call. I would think that that's a little distracting to your team. Just kind of play ball, you know what I mean? I get it, you know, the referees are making some tough calls. That's a tough series even to officiate because they're letting them play, and I will say, you mentioned, you know, Jalen Brunson. I wanted to agree with you 100% on that. And this is where our argument also comes into play about here I go, you know, here people always get on the older guys about old school basketball, but this is where, you know, just the position of point guard is just different. You know what I mean? I agree with you. Jalen Brunson has been doing this the whole season, so it's not really fair for people to get on him now and say, oh, he's shooting the ball too much and he's not getting the other guys involved. That's not how he plays. And that's just how they've, you know, the success that they've had. The guy actually officially won
Clutch Player of the
Year. So, you know, that's how you win it, by shooting the basketball, and that's what he does. You know, that's his thing. So, again, if you have that argument, I think the argument is not towards Jalen Brunson. The argument is going to be, you know, what do you see as the point guard's role on a team? Mm-hmm. So that's not really, I think, you know, his fault. It's tough, man, because there is a lot of good talent and the guys that can score the basketball on the New York Knickerbockers, and then, you know, but JB, this is his team, man, and this is basically what he's been doing the whole season long, and so you can't take nothing away from him. Wow, you know, in regards to that. But listen, the Knicks, I think, again, in my opinion, have definitely established control. I know it's been a back and forth. Aaron does make a good point in saying, like, you know, we're not blowing them out. A dominating performance would have been OKC's performance.
Yeah, every game.
That's just was easy. That's a dominating performance. A cakewalk as Orlando, Boston.
Oh yeah.
Listen, very shocking. Orlando and Boston are tied up with about 4 minutes to go in that game.
Drew's not playing.
Who's not playing?
Drew.
Why?
I don't know.
I know Tatum was out. Tatum's playing this game.
Tatum is playing this game.
I don't know why Drew's not playing.
Seems as though they would still have enough with Tatum. I think KP is playing as well. So interesting that this game. Now this also would be a situation where Aaron just said, and it will challenge what he said. I think that the Boston Celtics are a dominant team over Orlando. They're having trouble establishing it here, though, throughout this series because Orlando has won a game and then they seem to have a good chance to win again today. Right. But I do think that the Knicks have established that, you know what, I think they might have taken the wind out of the young Pistons. And some of it I think is inexperience too. And the Knicks were able to keep their foot on the gas pedal. And I suspect they're going to close this one. I think you actually said that you thought the Knicks would win in 5.
Oh,
or one of you guys said that. So
somebody said that for sure.
Somebody did say that. So somebody's got there. We could go back and watch the tape as Aaron likes to do and see who's going to win it, who said that. I didn't think that, but it looks like I think they're gonna close it out, coming back to Madison Square Garden. They need to.
Yeah,
you don't want to give this team any light to try to feel good about themselves.
Special shout out to Karl Anthony Towns as he hit an amazing shot at the end of the game, really clutch, really great, and he actually played really well today. JB and Cat, my 2 stars, love it. They played great.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. In the playoffs, that's what I'm looking to see. You're looking to see your superstars be a superstar. And you know what? That was impressive, obviously, for Jalen Brunson. Again, he's been doing it the whole season. And so there's no shock there, no surprise there. Let's move on it's on right now, so let's talk a little bit about Orlando and Boston. Again, this is surprisingly a competitive series. I thought this one would have been over 4-0. I know that there has been some injury issues. I think JT didn't play one of the games, or I know he went down, and it seemed like Orlando was very aggressive with them and put him to the floor. And I don't know, you guys' thoughts on this series. Did you guys think it would be this competitive?
Absolutely.
No. I thought Orlando would have been out here by 4.
Yeah.
I would have gave him 5.
No.
Because I think Orlando won the season series against Boston this year, so.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they did. So I said 5.
I didn't think so. I thought it would have been a clean sweep. So I'm definitely curious to see, and to be curious to see if they pull this game out and they have a 2-2 series. If that does happen, does anybody think that? No. So, listen, never know. You never know what can happen in these series. Sometimes it goes, a different way. A team, again, this is one of the things that I think is important, particularly when you have a young upstart team like Orlando. This is the NBA, man, and every team that's there does have talent. And you can't let them think that they can do something. So you have to be careful. If Orlando starts to think that hey, you know what, we can beat these guys. We match up what Spencer was saying. They beat them in the season series. Be very careful with that. So this is going to be an interesting. We'll hopefully be able to stay with you throughout the end of this ball game to see what happens.
Speaking of,
we got the Pacers and the Bucks coming up next. That's going to be 2-1. I know that Damian Lillard is back. We pray that everything is okay with him and that he's not. I'm a little concerned for me personally. Dangerous.
Last game they won. Which is apparently Giannis's first playoff game in like 1,000 games, something like that. I saw some crazy stat.
His what?
Giannis's first playoff win.
Really?
In a hot minute. I was like, what?
No.
That's what I thought.
No.
Well,
Don't look at me.
Listen, that's going to be an interesting series. I think. I'll tell you the truth. I think. Oh boy. KP just did his thing. He put Boston up by 2, and I think he got fouled. So still about 3-4 minutes to go in that game. I don't know. Dame Lillard is back. That's going to be an interesting series. Going into that series, who did you guys have picked?
Milwaukee.
I think I have Milwaukee.
Yeah, I had Milwaukee to win the series as well, but
a little shocking.
Was a little bit concerned with Dame Lillard being out.
No, but the Pacers didn't play well all season.
Yeah,
Tyrese did not have a good season at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know. I'll tell you, Tyrese better be careful talking to Dame like that.
Something's going on with those two.
Because Damian Lillard is very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little with that situation. I know Dame has been back for 2 games now.
Yeah.
And I know he hasn't gotten to the rhythm yet. Unbelievably, they were saying that, right up until when he came back, he had not ran up and down the court. So, again, I'm a little concerned. This is basketball. This is just basketball, man, and this is a health issue. So, hopefully everything goes okay for him. I'm sure the doctors cleared him properly to do everything that he needed to do. But certainly from a basketball standpoint, I think he was 1 for 10. They won the game, but I think he shot the ball poorly.
Yeah.
But look, they won the game. He shot poorly. I think that he's going to get into the groove. So Indiana might be in a lot of trouble because I think he will find his mojo, which is his thing. Damon Lillard is Mr. Clutch for sure. So that's going to be an interesting series. I think I'm still going to pick Milwaukee. I think to win it.
Even if Indiana wins tonight, I'm still taking Milwaukee.
Yeah, I agree. I still think that Milwaukee's going to pull that series out. Again, you definitely feel that Dame Lillard is going to progress and he's going to get better. Let's move a little bit more into the groove and let's talk a little bit about the Clippers and Denver, which is no question I think is going to prove to be one of the great, frankly, series period that I've seen maybe in the last 5 or 6 years.
Where is it now? 2-2?
2-2. Just a really good competitive series. I actually think, in my opinion, that the talent is on the Clippers. They have more talent, but I think what you're seeing from the Denver Nuggets is just the heart of a champion. Jokic is just going down and just fighting so hard. And these games are just tremendous, but at the same time, you can't take nothing away from Kawhi Leonard, who is a champion as well. And he's playing like, a true champion. Does anybody have a beat on who they think will win that series? I know I don't.
That's the hardest series to pick who's gonna win. My prediction right now, I'm gonna go LA.
No, it's gonna be Clippers.
I'm gonna say the Clippers too, but I tell you what, I thought that the Clippers. I'm a little surprised they lost the last game. I know it was some shenanigans that went on there at the last game. With the last second putback.
Okay, yeah.
And it was controversial. It was very close, but they reviewed it. Shots good, whatever. But I really thought that the Clippers were going to be able to win that game, coming back into LA and win how I thought. I thought James Harden would go off, and he did. That first game, and they did well. And then this, the fourth game, I really thought that it would be a combo, and they just would be able to establish their dominance over Denver. But again, Denver's a champion, man, and they still have a little bit of championship pedigree in them. So you definitely cannot, count them out. I just reflect on again just how good Kawhi Leonard is, just a true leader on that team. James Harden, I think, is going to be the X factor. I really would like to see him heat up. This is his chance. All these years, James Harden is always trying to get on championship teams. I actually think that they got a shot. Does anybody agree with that?
Oh, for sure. I think they're definitely a contender this year.
I believe so. I believe they definitely have a shot, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely have a shot to make out the West.
Yeah, they have a shot to get out of the West, and I don't know, the way the Boston Celtics are looking here, they look a little vulnerable to me. So,
I honestly don't think it'll happen. They have a shot to make it out the West.
You know what though? Look, I'm gonna flip flop. We'll come back even to the Clippers series, but look, to me the Western Conference picture is getting a little bit murky.
The Lakers better get themselves together.
Yeah, the Western Conference is getting themselves a little murky. I think the Lakers are out.
No.
I think the Lakers are out.
I don't think you can say that. They're down 3-1.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
I
problem.
think the Lakers are out.
Where they go? They going back to LA?
They're going back to LA, but then they come back to Minnesota. And Minnesota has played well in LA. So, one thing again, this is the thing about, to me, Minnesota, and this is important. Minnesota, last year, that playoff run that they had last year was huge. Oh boy. Boston is really taking control now. They're up 6 with about 2.5 minutes to go. That playoff run that Minnesota made last year, I think, was huge because it really gave them confidence. Young Anthony Edwards, he's a savage in that he doesn't really care about what's going on. He's one of them guys that's just like, I think I can beat anybody. Last year, going through Kevin Durant
In a sweep.
Yes, you know what I mean? And now it's his idol, so there was certainly no disrespect. One of the things I like on Anthony Edwards, he gives credit where credit is due. When he gets cooked, he'll tell you, like, yo, I got cooked tonight. I got a lot of respect for that. But he comes to get it. And to beat a team like Phoenix, I'm trying to remember who else they beat, but they had a...
They beat Phoenix, they beat Denver, and they beat... and they lost the Mavs. But they beat Phoenix and Denver.
And they beat the Denver Nuggets. So
7.
I mean, that's huge, and I think that's paying big dividends in their confidence going into this season. The only thing I would have liked, well, I should say going to the playoffs, the only thing I would have liked to have seen, and if they don't win the championship this year, even if they do, I would like to see them have an excellent season. You know, I don't like these guys, I don't know, just kind of lollygagging, I feel like, through the season. They made the playoffs, but at one point, they were kind of like down there, like, what's going on with these guys? I don't like that because sometimes you can lose a championship because you don't have home court advantage. That can be a factor. So, your thoughts? Do you guys think the Lakers can come back, or?
I mean, you can't really count out LeBron and Luka Doncic.
It's the same thing.
But I mean, I haven't really been watching games. I need to start watching games a little more because, I mean, from what I heard, Luka did his thing game.
This last game today?
No, LeBron did his thing last game. And then Luka did his thing the game before that.
Yes.
So I think they both need to have a hell of a game. And their supporting cast just needs to do something. They need to do something.
Isaiah, I'll let you talk before I go off.
I agree with Aaron 100% because you can't really count out LeBron and Luka. I think Rui had a good game today, which was his first good game of the series. I mean, it's easier said than done, but they need an Anthony Edwards stopper, bro. You have 43 points today, and that told the entire story. There's nothing you could do when you just let a guy get 43 points. Lakers had a good chance to tie the game at the end, but...
Ooh, I want to get into that in a minute.
But
I'll tell you what, though.
Larry Bird?
I go back to... We've been having brutal battles in the house about Larry Bird. We'll get into that. Not today. But I want to really reflect on. Aaron loves to go back to previous shows when we had, Mr. Mark and we had Anthony in the building, and we talked about these series and Mark too. Let's be honest. Let's put him on the hot seat too. Sorry, Mark, but Mark was in the total disillusion about the Lakers and saying how much firepower they had. And I
He said he'd make it out the West. I didn't say all that.
Nah,
he said for sure the Lakers gonna make it out the West. I didn't say all that.
So, look, I personally am just a little wary about their firepower. Like I said, you got Luka. Of course, Luka is unbelievable. He's averaging probably close to 30 this series, if not 30. LeBron James unstoppable. But again, I do think, I give it to you, homeboy does all right.
Reeves?
Yeah, he's doing all right. You know what I mean? Reeves is doing all right. But again, after that, it's just crash and burn, in my opinion. And that's the reason why they're going to struggle, even with a team like Minnesota, because Minnesota is one of the. I don't know if you guys would agree, but I think Minnesota is one of the teams that have the deepest bench and deepest rotation in the league of effective scoring.
I wouldn't say that. That title would belong to the Boston Celtics, but.
Well, they have Dante comes off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
The kid Nas comes off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two of the best. Those guys can definitely start, no problem. Would you agree?
Okay.
Who do you got? Who's on Boston Celtics?
What we got? Peyton Pritchard, 6 man, right?
He's a 6 man of the year.
6 man of the year guy.
6 man of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Who else on Boston? Does Derek White start?
Derek White starts. Al Horford off the bench.
No. Why are you laughing? Al Horford's a big piece of that team. You know that, right?
Okay.
Al Horford off the bench. Not the Lakers. The Celtics, name wise, don't really have, that crazy amount of people. Like Sam Hauser off the bench. That's about it. But these guys will all kill you because they all know how to shoot the ball.
KP's coming off the bench.
No, Al Horford's the guy off the bench.
Oh, Al Horford. Look, I won't get into that. I mean, it's close. I'm just saying that Minnesota has a really good bench, and there's a few guys I'm forgetting about, even for them coming off the bench. And I just think that, within the rotation, they have far more greater guys that are involved in the rotation and are critical players.
Doesn't Daniels come on, man?
Ask him. That's his team.
Oh,
Daniels.
yes. No, he starts.
Oh.
He starts. He's a good player. But they have far more critical, even down to him though. he's gotten himself together. He's really
David
playing.
Davis.
Yeah, he's really playing extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, that's, you know, I mean, I don't know how you feel about Rudy Gobert. I'm not a big Rudy Gobert guy. He can't put the ball in the hole, but at the same time, it's good defense. He does fulfill the role that, you know, that is needed with him. Mike Conley actually is good, so he fills a role that's needed. I just think that the Lakers, after those two guys, and in a little bit of defense of the Lakers are still trying to get that chemistry together between Luka and LeBron James.
That's fair.
Luka came very late. He was still injured, and LeBron got hurt. So I think they probably only played like 12 games together before the playoffs. So they still trying to get that. They're trying to get that together. With that, I really think that they are in a world of trouble. I really think Minnesota is going to be able to pull that series out. But
I'll be surprised.
if you'd be surprised if Minnesota won.
Not at this point in the series. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if the Lakers came back. Huh?
I'm surprised right now that
Yes.
they're up 3-1.
Yes, I do agree with that.
That's crazy.
I do agree with that. That they're up 3-1. I'm not saying I wouldn't have been surprised if it went 7, but not in this way. Still, obviously, for the Lakers to win, it has to go 7, and it still might go 7. If it goes 7, I think the Lakers will win. But I am surprised that Minnesota is going up 3-1, and again, very dangerous because Anthony Edwards is a young, hot-head guy that believes like he can do it, and so if you give him that confidence, he's a great teammate. I think in that bringing along his guys like, yo, we could do this. So that's why I think the Lakers are in a lot of trouble because I don't think Minnesota is surprised by what they're doing. I think that Minnesota, because again their playoff success last year, I think that they're in their mind like, yeah, this is what we do. We take down giants. We took down KD last year. We took down the Joker last year. LeBron, you next. And so he's up to be dethroned. So that should be a very interesting series to see. It's not over, but again, great playoff series. Those games have come down to the end. Today, speaking of that, last second play of the game, Anthony Edwards got the ball underneath the basket, charging towards the lane. It seems like to me, I hate to see that. Looked like the floor was wet. He slipped. Going to the basket, but LeBron James swiped at the ball. The ball went out. Clearly was off of, I thought, Anthony Edwards, but Minnesota challenged the play. And now this is what I want to talk about. On the challenge, the Lakers lost the challenge, or Minnesota won the challenge, but not on the out-of-bounds play, but they called a foul on LeBron James.
Right.
You guys' thoughts on, the timeout rule? And that, the replay rule. If there's a replay that you're calling for, do you guys think that when they rewatch the play that they should be watching the whole play and then we to me, you're replaying the out of bounds call.
Yeah.
Do we call a foul on that? Do you guys?
I mean, if you made it clear, I want this out of bounds call to be challenged.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if the guy got punched in the face by every guy on the roster in the court. You're challenging the out of bounds call.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
So that's what you're looking for. Like I don't understand NBA refs sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that a rule?
I think that's the rule.
Like when you challenge, you look for everything.
Yes. I believe that's the new rule that they made this year. I think that's a bad rule,
That's
though.
whack.
I think that it should be upon the team that's challenging to say, what are you challenging? It would be fair, I guess, if he said, my guy got fouled. But I don't think that's a good idea because we can't be challenging foul calls. The games would never end. For God's sakes, if the Detroit Pistons would challenge every freaking call.
No,
Still, that's still annoying. You know what I mean? You can't be challenging foul calls. But like you said, it's only 2, so
They
you
not
don't
challenge foul calls. They challenge foul calls. What are you talking?
I've never really. Usually, guys don't challenge usually it's out of bounds plays. But you're right. I just think that you should specifically call. I'm challenging the out of bounds play. It shouldn't be the ball went out of bounds. That's what they were looking at, and then they changed it and say, oh, the ball went out of bounds off of Anthony Edwards, but there was illegal contact on LeBron James. That's a terrible way to lose a game.
It's a bag over the head.
That's a bag over the head loss. You're like, oh man, I would be livid. But I mean, at the same time, it was the correct call. He did swipe him across the hand.
Yeah, but a
that's
call
just
like
a
that,
tough way to lose.
especially for that game, really determined the entire game.
and could determine the series.
So to lose off of an out of bounds turned foul.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Like I said,
You hate to see that.
You know what I mean? I'm an old school guy. I'm not even a big fan of replays. You know, refs are not perfect. They make mistakes. To me, at the end of the day, it kind of evens out. I do like them reviewing an out of bounds play, something like that, but foul calls, it is what it is with that. But that can actually, you know, end the series for the Lakers. Golden State
Huge problem.
and Houston, where we at?
2-1.
2-1.
Who's up?
State.
You know, that's been a very competitive series. Every time I've checked in on it, none of the games have really been blowouts.
Yeah, no. Stephen Curry put them out last night.
Yo, Stephen
It
Curry.
was what's the final on that, you know?
Problem. What, like final score?
Yeah. Jimmy did not play last
No,
night.
Jimmy
Did
didn't
they
play.
say that Jimmy Butler's going to be back anytime soon?
They said he can't even walk.
Yeah, they say he ain't mobile at all. They said yo, he's not mobile, and they made it clear. They're like, we're not talking about mobile to move around basketball. They're like, no, he just can't move. I'm like, okay. 93-104 Warriors win.
Yeah, so
Steph Curry had 36.
who else scored high in that one?
Buddy Hield,
Oh, Buddy.
17 points, which is good because Buddy Hield has not scored that high in a hot minute. Gary Payton, 16
I
points.
saw him. I saw some
Which was
part of the game that
really
I saw.
good.
He played really well.
But, you know, I think towards the end of the game, Rockets just showed how young they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was definitely watching that game and they made a bunch of careless mistakes. And, you know,
Yeah.
the veteran Warriors are going to...
Well, no. It wasn't the young guys on there. It was the technical veteran for the team, Dylan Brooks. It was that. I think that was
Fred
yeah. No. Dylan Brooks had the stupidest foul,
Yeah,
and
that was
he fouled out the
embarrassing.
game
Yeah, that's
in the
embarrassing.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. And he still was about 6 minutes to go in the
Yeah,
fourth.
yeah.
Just with
And
this-
the game was decently tight at that point.
It was.
And he
that
just
was ridiculous. What was he thinking?
I don't know. He just had a stupid foul,
Yeah,
and he fouled out the game.
Yeah.
And you could say honestly, because he's a good defensive guy, and you need a lot of guys on Curry.
Yeah.
So you can honestly say he might have lost Houston that game last night.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was just a bonehead play. I don't know what he was thinking, and he just grabbed the guy. Like, come on, you got 5 fouls on you. There's plenty of time to go in the game. I thought, like you said, that was, I don't know.
Dylan Brooks' thinking is a miracle.
He did.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, that kind of cost him the game, and it could have cost him the series. But look, I mean, it's 2-1, so
It's 2-1, and
you can go back either way.
Not a lot. I don't think I won't say anybody, but I don't think a lot of people really had Houston coming out of the first round.
I did.
anyways.
But
Especially
no
when
Jimmy, so
Steph Curry gave you 40.
yeah, I mean, let's hope that Steph can hold it down. Obviously, looks like Jimmy. I mean, from what you guys are saying, he probably won't return this whole series. So, looks like Steph Curry's gonna have to try to.
If they get past the series, no matter who they play next series, they're going to need Jimmy.
They're gonna need Jimmy Butler.
They're going
to need Jimmy Butler. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know I don't know which one they play.
Either Timberwolves or Lakers.
They're
I'm
going
pretty
to need Jimmy Butler.
You're gonna be playing the Timberwolves. So the Lakers, I'm gonna say, but yeah, they're gonna need Jimmy Butler. There's no doubt about it. So, but I would suggest if they can get out of this series without him having to come back, definitely try to sit him and let him get back if they're saying he can't walk. So that's an interesting series to say the least. To see what we have there, but again, like I said, the Western Conference brackets to me just look very, very interesting. It's kind of changing. I thought that the Lakers would be there, and I tell you what, even with Jimmy Butler going down, you kind of, if he doesn't come back, that's dangerous.
That's a huge.
If Minnesota does beat the Lakers, I don't think it's out of the question to say that Minnesota Timberwolves can go to the NBA Finals.
These guys just got
Yeah.
whacked.
Final here,
What happened in the last
Boston
2
Celtics
minutes
beat
of the
Orlando. Oh, listen, the experience pulled it out
Almost 7-1
in this series. I think again, Boston's just a better team than Orlando, so no surprises here. But yeah, I think that if Minnesota does actually beat the Lakers, particularly if Jimmy Butler's not there, I mean, I think Minnesota has a chance to actually now put them in that bracket to say that I believe they can make it to the finals.
Minnesota?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Who do you got beating Minnesota? Who do you got beating?
If Minnesota make it out this first round, I got them losing to the Warriors.
With no Jimmy Butler?
Oh, well, if full team, I got them losing to the Warriors.
Yeah, but right now, that's what I'm saying. Jimmy Butler's not. We don't know. So.
But they're sure as hell not any title contenders. So.
Who else beats them?
Clippers.
Who else beats them?
Clippers.
You think they can beat the Clippers?
No, of course. I think that they definitely have a shot to beat any of those teams. Why would you say no?
They're losing.
They beat the Lakers.
Okay.
They beat a Kevin Durant team. They beat the Joker last year. So I understand that. But I'm telling you that this team has proven that when it comes to the playoff series, you can't just count them out and discredit them to be like they're a laughable team.
They're not winning.
You think the Minnesota's a laughable team?
No. See, come on. What
are you saying?
Here you go again.
But he's clearly laughing at Minnesota like they're a laughable team. He can't even control himself. That the Minnesota is a laughable team.
Here we go again.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm not saying they're a laughable team. I'm saying it's laughable to think that.
So you're saying they're a laughable team?
No, let me finish. I'm saying it's laughable to say that. It's blasphemous to think that they're gonna beat Oklahoma City Thunder if they make it to the conference final.
Yes, I think that they. I said.
You think they have a chance to?
If you ask me, if they're gonna play Oklahoma City, for sure. If I have to pick, I'm gonna pick Oklahoma City. But will I say that for sure? If they get past the Lakers, this is a team that's a very dangerous team that can be competitive. They didn't beat Oklahoma City during the season.
Who? Timberwolves?
Yes.
Probably not.
Yes, they did.
When?
Look it up right now.
When?
Look it up right now. I saw the game. They beat Oklahoma City. So to say that they can't beat these teams, the Minnesota Timberwolves have enough talent to compete with anybody.
All right. You could say that, but you cannot tell me that you think the Minnesota are going to be more of on a high than Oklahoma City right now, who just absolutely embarrassed.
Yeah, but look at the opponent.
They tied the season series.
They beat them, so 2-2, right?
No, they played like 6 times.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. They can beat. You got to remember, this is a team that I'm just telling you. Minnesota's a team that's dangerous because they not going out there like how you thinking like, oh, we're not that good. These boys is like, yo, we could beat any of these teams. They beat Oklahoma City, tied them. This the great Oklahoma City that's whipping everybody that everybody should be scared of. They're not scared of them.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
They're not scared of them.
Okay.
They ain't scared of them. So again, to say it is laughable that in that series, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, if they come out there and they beat everybody, you guys said the same thing that, oh my God, the Lakers and they're gonna do boom, 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 boom. The Lakers are down 3-1. Y'all laughed at Minnesota. Rewind the tape.
No, I didn't.
Y'all said the Lakers were going to destroy him. I'm trying to figure out where's that happening at.
Nobody said that. Mr. Work was the one who said that. Don't get that on me.
But y'all agreed.
I specifically.
You said Minnesota was going to beat the Lakers?
I specifically wrote an article saying that you cannot count out Anthony Edwards when it comes to the playoffs. You read it yourself.
Who'd you pick?
Huh?
Who'd you pick?
I picked the Lakers.
Everybody picked them.
But you're talking about dominating. Even Anthony Edwards said it himself.
What?
He said, we're not even supposed to be here. Everybody has the Lakers winning. So, but you talking about, I'm saying, oh, the Lakers are going to dominate. No, I did not say that. I
said the Lakers were going to beat Minnesota.
No. Yes, you're talking about.
Case closed, that's it. Next question.
He's talking about, he's talking about, oh, you guys said, the Lakers are going to dominate the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Who said that?
Nobody. Okay.
No, who said that? I'm asking.
You.
I said the Lakers were going to dominate Minnesota?
You're saying that's what we said.
Oh. Somebody said it.
Not me.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying somebody said that. I didn't hear very many people disagreeing. So you clearly got to lump me in one category.
See, but like, how can you say that?
Say what?
Oh, people aren't disagreeing. So clearly you think they're gonna get destroyed. Come on.
It's the same way. It's the same way like you try to lump me into saying that. Oh, now we can address that.
All right, go ahead.
So you're saying that if the Knicks, who's better? If the Knicks and the Celtics play each other, who's going to win that series?
Celtics.
Oh, so you were Celtics? So you on the Celtics bandwagon?
I didn't say that.
That's what he said to me earlier.
No, I
That's what
did
he
not.
said to me because
No,
I
I
said
did not.
that Ryan can beat
No, I did not.
Dev. Now I'm all of a sudden a Dev hater, and I'm on a Ryan bandwagon.
Nobody said you were a Dev hater or Ryan bandwagon.
What? This guy always said
When? Please tell me when.
Hold on. I ain't gonna lie. At the gym, you was pretty much telling him that he ain't a Haney fan.
He does it to me all the time.
Yeah,
He
okay.
said it today. What are you talking about?
When did I say that to you today? What are you talking about?
When I said earlier when the show came on, and I said, "Yo, I watched the fight again, and I want to tell you, oh my God, here's this guy."
But that's what I'm talking about.
Rewind.
You over here running your mouth on the show, and you don't even remember what the damn fight looked like.
No, that's not true.
You don't even remember what the fight looked like.
I didn't say
now
that.
you gonna come here and think about, oh, I'm not the line. Devin Haney.
I said that. That happens often.
Yeah.
I watched the fight again, and I saw certain things. I'm like, all right, you know what? I can definitely see Dev being much more competitive, and I think he can win the fight. That's what I said. I didn't say he's going to destroy Ryan. I said I definitely feel like he can win the fight. You guys pressed me to say, well, who do I think? I said, okay, I'm going to give it to Dev.
No.
Go ahead.
But I'm telling you, stay over there with your pick with Ryan. That's what I'm telling you.
He's saying don't come back.
I'm telling you.
How are you going to say that?
We don't want you
There's factors. You see, that's what I'm saying. See, now he's throwing me underneath the bus to say, like, oh, we don't want you here. Like, I'm not a Devin Haney fan.
I'm not. Nobody said you weren't a Devin Haney fan.
So what does that mean when you say we don't want you here?
Oh my God.
Where are we talking about?
No,
I'm telling you in this predicament, in this fight. I'm talking about in this fight. I'm not talking about being a Devin Haney fan. I'm talking about in this fight in general. Ryan versus Devin Haney. You say on your side voting for Ryan, and I'll stay over here voting for
I can
Devin.
change my pick, man. There's a lot of stuff that happens leading up to a fight.
All right, we'll see on
I can
Friday.
change.
We'll see
I
on
can
Friday.
change my pick. Look, it may be even during the training camp that I'm like, yo, Ryan doesn't look good. There's a lot of things that can happen that can make me change what I'm thinking until fight night. I'm not gonna tell you.
But his whole point is how adamant you've been on Ryan Garcia beating Haney. You like every week that we've talked about it. You know, it's always been Ryan Garcia. It's gonna beat him. Ryan Garcia and I don't say Aaron's really been the only person in the gym to be like, are y'all high? So that's why Aaron's like, yo, you've been saying the same thing for weeks. So when the fight comes,
so you guys are suggesting that I said.
I hear what you're saying.
Hold on a second. So you guys are suggesting that I said that Ryan Garcia was gonna, and this is how I come off to me, that I'm saying that Ryan was gonna destroy Devin Haney. Is that what you're saying?
What?
that you think he thinks Ryan's gonna destroy Devin Haney in the rematch.
I didn't say no. I didn't say destroy, but
Okay.
you were definitely talking like, yo, this guy's gonna get knocked out again.
Listen, again, I didn't say he was going to destroy him. Of course, I think I give. I don't disrespect Devin Haney. Devin Haney's a really good fighter. But my thing was just that up until I'm watching this fight again, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, like, and the truth still kind of remains. Like Devin Haney, and you said the same thing yourself. You said the same thing yourself. Devin Haney could not stop the left hook.
Right.
That's Ryan Garcia's best punch. If Devin does not stop that punch, how? I want Devin Haney to win. I'm a Devin Haney fan. But I'm a realistic person. And watching the fight, if he can't stop that, how can you say that, oh my God, he's going to win? How? What's he going to do? What, for your assessment of this, forget about just saying what one guy's going to win. How is Devin Haney, from what we saw, gonna beat Ryan Garcia?
Devin Haney's a world-class champion.
No, that's not what I'm asking you.
Let me finish. Devin Haney is a world-class. You think he's gonna make the same mistake twice?
That's fair.
Aaron, the guy went 12 rounds and numerous times. That's the part
Well,
that's
you
concerning.
rewatched the fight.
Yes.
You said, after the first round, Ryan rocked him pretty good, but like 2 to maybe like 6, he had it in the bag.
Right.
So he did change.
After that, the guy got hit with about. I mean, as I'm watching the fight, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize he got hit again. The guy just got hit with so many left hooks that it was clear to me that even Ryan just knew, like, this dude can't stop it. And so my thing is, again, I'm hopeful. I mean, going into fights like this, yes, a rematch, you would think in your mind, like, and I give it back to you when you say, and I agree. This is why the fight was so shocking to me. Devin Haney is a world-class fighter. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen that happen before, where a world class fighter is having that much trouble stopping what the other guy's greatest ability to be able to do, which is hit, with the left hand. That's to me the most concerning part, and it's obvious that he can't really take the punch. That's obvious to me. So that's why I'm saying to you, tell me what do you see besides just saying he's a world class fighter, and there's no evidence at this point. I deal on facts and evidence. What is the evidence that we can see Devin Haney able to stop that left hook? Go ahead.
The left hook? No, I'm gonna tell you why he's gonna win. You think Ryan Garcia can outbox Devin Haney?
No.
Absolutely not. In no lifetime.
No, he can't.
Devin Haney's one
Ryan
of the best
Garcia probably
skilled
tell you I can't outbox Devin Haney.
I don't know. Ryan Garcia's a crazy dude.
No, I bet you the amount of money he'll tell you I can't outbox Devin Haney.
Who's Devin Haney's second best opponent in your opinion?
Second best?
Besides Ryan.
Who do you fight?
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko, yeah.
Lomachenko, right?
Mm-hmm.
The power opponent. Let me see that.
Who's his best power opponent?
Yeah, besides Ryan.
What's the guy, Prognosis, who rocked him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Regis Pro.
Yeah, he rocked
something
him.
like that. Yeah.
He rocked. That's the first time I was like, oh man, Dev, be careful. Well, go ahead. Where you going with that?
Did he get dropped?
He was out on his feet.
Did he get dropped?
No.
Haney went down in that fight?
No, he was out on his feet. If that,
Who
he got hit.
Who are you talking about?
Wait, who are you talking about? Who got dropped?
No, I'm talking about Dev's opponent. Who are you talking about?
Regis.
Yeah, Regis.
Oh.
He hit Dev, and Dev was out on his feet.
Oh.
Thank God it happened within the last literally 2 seconds of the round. Otherwise, he would have got knocked out.
What about Cambosis?
What about it?
He kind of had Devin
hurt as well?
Little staggered, right?
Okay.
He won the fight.
Where we going with this?
He's not going to lose.
Where we going with that?
He's going to outbox this kid.
Why didn't he do it? Why didn't he do it in the first fight?
I'm not Devin Haney. I can't tell you why he didn't. But I'm going to tell you he's not going to do it again.
Again, that's fine, Aaron, but I'm just asking you. This is how I like to say it. How much time we got? This is how I like to say it. If you are training Devin, what are we doing?
About 3 minutes.
What are we doing? What are we doing to beat this guy?
Oh, this guy needs to. First of all, he needs to work on his chin, but it's probably not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. That's impossible.
It's just about
not-
staying away.
And then
Yeah.
you just need to work on your defense. He just needs to work on the defense.
I agree.
That if he works on the defense for that whole training camp, and he shows good defense in his next fight, and he completely packs this guy, I'm telling you, if Ryan can't hit him like how he hit him this fight, there's no way.
There's
Ryan
no
beats him.
question that that's correct, Aaron. There's no question that that's correct. But again, I don't deal in fantasies.
I'm not dealing with that.
Yes, that's a fantasy because you watch the fight. That's a fantasy because you look. The fact is, we can only go off what we saw, and what we saw was his complete inability to defend to defend himself from those punches. Again, we may get some information on Friday, but I don't think so. That we're not going to really know that on Friday from his opponent, but we might see that. That's my only concern. Is I don't see any. That's what I'm looking for. You could tell me something right now to be like, nah, I'm telling you right now, I have all confidence because, and you have to tell me X, Y, X's and O's why you think that he can defend himself from those shots. I don't see it. Maybe you need to take a look at the fight again yourself. I don't see why you're saying that he can not get hit with those shots. It just was something that happened, and I'm like very disappointed. Like, why is he not able to defend himself from these shots? And it appeared to me that Ryan Garcia at some point knew, like, let me take a break. Why is this dude didn't get up?
I don't know. Dane went down. Don't look like he's getting up anytime soon. Seems to be fine.
So we're gonna have to end it. We're at the time limit. I know we talked about the NBA playoffs. That got out of hand. But we'll have some answers for you in regards to his ankle. We'll have some answers. That's fine. We'll have some answers for you guys in regards to boxing. It's getting good. It's getting heavy, and that's good. This is good discussion. This is what builds up fights, and we want to see Devin and Ryan definitely. First of all, let's make sure they both take care of business, and we don't have any upsets in here. And I think this is meaning that we're going to have to get down there to that fight and cover that one live. Wherever it's at, I think we need to go. because Aaron is just out of control. And so we're going to see what happens. So listen, on the second thought, sports show.
Like and subscribe, guys. Let's see if we timed that right. Yeah, we did.
Did?
We got